Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And today we'll be teaching you Expedition Northwest Passage HMS Terror Edition.
This game is designed by Yves Torigny and is published by Maple Games, who helped sponsor this video.
Let's head on over to the table and learn how to play, shall we? As always, you'll begin by setting up. You'll assemble the main board and place it at the center of the table. Each player will receive an individual board with a ship, sled, crew members of one color, along with a compass which should be used for scoring. You'll place one of your crew members on the turn order track and arrange all of them in random order. You'll place your ship in the sea closest to Greenland and your sled on your player board. Your crew members will start in the available space on your ship. Now let's set up the exploration tiles. The small tiles will be placed exploration side face up in stacks of identical type on the 6 spaces. The large exploration tiles will be shuffled and placed into a bag. 4 will be drawn randomly. You'll place your scoring tokens for the Northwest Passage in Greenland based on your player count. The solar disk is then placed on its starting space with the cold side up and the hot side down. You'll place the 2 canned wooden tokens on the corresponding symbols on the main board and you're now ready to play. Before the game starts, each player will draw a large exploration tile from the 4 available. The player last in turn order will go first and you'll proceed in reverse turn order. Tiles will replenish as soon as 1 is drawn, so every player will have 4 to choose from. Expedition Northwest Passage is played over 10 rounds, where each round players will utilize their crew members to take actions, which will often revolve around exploring, traveling, and collecting various tokens. After the 10 rounds are up, or if all players have returned to Greenland, points will be scored based on the finding of each crew. Now, a core aspect of the game is the movement of the solar disk, which represents the rounds of the game and the impact it has on the board. Any tiles above the separation line are completely frozen, meaning no ship may pass through the water there. Tiles below the separation line are unfrozen. As the disk moves around the board, you'll witness the Arctic freeze and thaw. You'll have to use this to your advantage when playing the game. Now let's go over each round. Each round will have an action phase and a maintenance phase. In the action phase, players will take turns taking actions by putting their crew members to work. There are 7 actions you can take on your turn. Draw a tile, refresh and draw, place a tile, transfer crew, move, explore, discover, and of course, pass. In order to take an action, you'll move the corresponding number of crew members from the available section to the resting section below. On your turn, you must execute 1 action, but you may also execute 1 or more additional actions by paying an additional crew member per action on top of the action's normal cost. Now let's go over all of the actions. Draw a tile. This action costs 1 crew member. You'll choose to either select a large exploration tile out of the 4 available or a small exploration tile out of the 6 available. You'll put the chosen tile near your player board. It's now in your personal supply, which can have any amount of tiles. The next action is refresh tiles and draw. This action costs 2 crew members. Don't like the tiles you see? Take the 4 large tiles and replace them with 4 new ones from the bag. The tiles you discarded will then be placed back into the bag. You now can choose to draw one of the large tiles or one of the 6 smaller tiles. The next action is place a tile. This action will cost 1 crew member. You'll take one of the tiles from your personal supply and place it on the main board. Your ship or sled, whichever you're utilizing the crew member from, will need to be 1 tile away from the tile you place, as it will be the one exploring the new location. When placing the tile, land and sea must match on all sides, including diagonals. If the tile has a symbol on it, you'll place a corresponding token on the tile as well. If at any point you create an empty square surrounded by all sides, you can automatically fill in that tile with one of the squares from the supply. You can do this multiple times if multiple squares are created. Lastly, an important rule here. You cannot block the sea path between Greenland and the Northwest Passage, meaning that if a sea path is impossible upon your tile placement, you cannot place your tile in this way. Now sometimes when placing tiles, you'll be able to earn prestige as well, which are points for the game. If you end up completing an island, meaning that all land areas of at least 2 tiles are completely surrounded by water, you'll earn prestige points and obtain a cartography token. The points you earn will depend on how many tiles the island is composed of. You'll refer to your player board and score accordingly. And that's place a tile. The next action is movement. This action will cost 1 crew member. You'll take your ship or sled and move on to one adjacent tile, linked orthogonally to the tile you're currently on. Ships will need water to move through, and water may not be frozen. Sleds will need land to move over, and they can move across the sea when it is frozen. As a reminder, you can refer to the solar disk at any point in time to determine which part of the board is frozen or thawed. You can also score prestige by moving by discovering the Northwest Passage and coming back to Greenland. The first player that discovers the Northwest Passage will collect the tile with the highest points that is available, and you'll score those points immediately. The same goes for returning to Greenland. The next action is Transfer Crew. This action will cost 1 crew member. You may freely transfer any amount of crew as long as your ship and sled are on the same tile. Now for the first time taking this action, your sled is actually on your ship. You'll deploy it on the board and move any amount of crew members to the sled. Crew members you move may still be available or ones that are resting. The status does not change upon movement. At a later point in the game, if you choose to pick up all your crew members back up from the sled, you can choose to put the sled back on the ship as well. This can give you a bit of flexibility while traversing through frozen land. Next is the Explore action. You can explore a Franklin site or a strait. This action will cost 3 crew members. If you're on a tile with a Franklin site or a strait, you can pick up the wooden token using 3 workers. When picking up these tiles, you'll also score prestige based on which section of the board you're on. There's a handy reference on the player board, and you'll notice the marking on the main board as well, to help you determine how many points you'll score. Next is a Discover action. You can get help from an Inuit person or discover a cairn. This action will cost 2 crew members. It works the same way as the Explore action. You can pick up on the Inuit person token or the cairn token and place them on your player board. You'll score prestige according to the zone you're in. The last action you can take is Pass. If all your crew members are used up, or if you do not wish to take additional actions, you can pass. When doing so, you'll move your crew member on the turn order track to the first available space on the adjacent track. This will determine the turn order for the next round. At the end of the round, when everyone has passed, you'll advance the solar disk counterclockwise, shift all the resting crew members to available, and adjust the turn order for the new round. As the game progresses, the Arctic will freeze and thaw, meaning you'll often have to adapt to travel by both sled and ship depending on the circumstances. When the round marker reaches the last space and the 10th action phase is taken, or if all expeditions have returned to Greenland, the game comes to an end. You're now ready to begin final scoring. You'll first add up the exploration points. You'll count your wooden token for each type, Franklin site, strait, and cartography on your personal board. The player with the most wooden tokens of each type will earn the first position points. The second most will earn points for the second position, and so on. In case of a tie, the players both earn the lower of the 2 values. For example, if tied for first, both players will earn points for the second position. You'll then add up set points. Each set is composed of 1 wooden token of each type. Each set will score a bonus of 6 prestige points. Lastly, you'll account for any abandonment that may have occurred. If you did not make it to Greenland on your ship or sled, the corresponding ship or sled is lost. Each lost ship or sled will give a penalty, losing you 2 points for each crew member aboard. The sled in itself will not lose you points, but if the ship is abandoned, it will also lose you 2 points on top of the points you lost from the crew members. You'll compare your scores, and the player with the highest prestige wins. Thank you so much for watching our How to Play video of Northwest Passage. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them in the comments down below. So type away, ask us about this wonderful game.
And of course, if you want to learn more about this game, check out the description down below. We've included some links that can help you out.
Yeah, it's coming to crowdfunding. So learn a little bit more, dive into the world of the Northwest Passage, and start exploring.
Until next time, though, we'll see you later. Bye!